Hello, welcome to the module Human Resource Information System. In this presentation, we are going to look at Human Resource Data Management in Human Resource Information System. So, HR data management refers to the process involved in handling HR data within a human resource information system. It encompasses the collection, storage, and security of HR data, ensuring its accuracy, accessibility, and the confidentiality. So what information or what data are we talking about here? We're talking about the academic documents of the employees. We are talking about employees' contract. We're talking about employees' job description and any other job-related information. So it is about ensuring that the information is accurate in terms of the date, in terms of the name, and the authenticity. Where does that document come from? Then also we need to make sure that the information can easily be accessed by the employees and also by the management in case it is needed. And then final confidentiality. Every employee has a very sensitive information to, to be kept secret. So under data management, it is the responsibility of the human resource team or the people who are managing the data to make sure that such confidential information are not revealed to the public or to the other employees in the organization. So basically, that is what we are looking at in this presentation. Now, let us look at the data management in human resource information system strategies. What are the strategies you need to use when managing data? Strategy number one is collection of HR data. You already know the data we are talking about here, the contract, the job description, recruitment, the appointment letter, etc. So HR information system facilitates efficient collection of HR data through various sources such as employee onboarding, performance evaluations, and time tracking systems. The evaluation is all about the assessment of employees' performance in the organization. So we have to keep that data. That data is very important when it comes to training programs. If you don't have the data on performance of the employees, then it becomes very difficult for you to give relevant training to that particular employees. So time tracking systems is also very important in terms of reporting for work and leaving the office. You need to have that also in your management or data management. The next thing you need to do under collection of data is that data collection may include personal information, employment history, benefits, enrollment, and the training record. So all the benefits in terms of the remuneration or salary package can also be tracked down. And then enrollment in terms of upgrades or studies can also be tracked, and then training records. If the employee has ever received any training or not, all those records can be found in human resource information system. And then when you are collecting data, HR data, these are some of the information you are looking at. Don't ignore the training record, don't ignore the employment history, etc. Because if you ignore them, then the management of the human resource becomes very difficult because the key information are missing. So accurate and up-to-date data collection is vital for effective HR decision making and the strategic planning. So basically, that is the strategy number one. It's all about collection of human resource data. So remember, the data here is basically related to the employment, related to academics, things to do with the personal life. You don't need to collect them. The strategy number two is now the storage of HR data. You have already gathered the data in terms of the recruitment history, in terms of benefit record, performance, etc. The next thing now is to store this data. So HRIS provides a centralized database for storing data securely. Then it eliminates the need for physical paperwork and enables easy retrieval of information. So it's very easy for you to retrieve information when you're using the human resource information system compared to paperwork. Because in the system you just have to type the employee's name or even his ID number. Then all the information you want about that a particular employee will come. If it is the academic document, if it is the employment history, if it is the performance benefit, etc, it will come. But if you are using the paperwork, it will be very difficult for you because you have to open one paper to another, one paper to another. So it will take time for you to retrieve information about your employees. The next thing under storage is that it eliminates the need for physical paperwork and enables retrieval of information. I think that's repetition. Then data storage in HRIS ensures that integrity reduces data redundancy and improves organizational efficiency. There is always integrity when we store data in the system because the data has a security protocols to follow whereby it is not accessible to anyone. But if it is just in the file, okay, it is in the file, it just kept on the table in the cupboard, anyone can come and open the cupboard and start opening the file and they will get the information, especially those information which are confidential. So that is how storage of data is very important in human resource information system. The next strategy is security of the HR data. You have collected the data, you have stored the data. Now it's the security of the data. How safe are they? So maintaining the security and confidentiality of HR data is crucial to protect sensitive employee information. This is all about now employee privacy. Like I've told you from the beginning that every employee has uh, highly sensitive or confidential information to be protected. Some of this information are needed for purpose in the organization, and it is normally maintained at the highest level. I mean, at the highest office, the HR manager or the top management in the organization. These other employees will not have any access to such information. So, security of data is basically about protecting employees' privacy. The next one is the system implements robust security measures, including user authentication, role-based access control, and the encryption protocols. It means you cannot easily get the data you want. There is a security measures or protocol to follow in terms of access. You need to have a password to access the data, and even your password is also controlled. So that is how security of data in the system becomes very, very important compared to the paperwork. Okay, with paperwork, the only password you have is the key. What if that key someone has stolen it and then opened the cable and then maybe access the file? So that means the system is much better than paper paperwork. The next thing is the regular monitoring data backups and the disaster recovery plans guard against data breaches and ensure data protection. So you need to always back up data. However much you trust the online system, but you never know, hackers might one day bring it down. So when they bring it down, it means you are going to lose everything. So for you to be on a safer side, you need to make sure that you have backed up your data. It could be you can even use the paper system. Okay, you can have it in a hard copy, printed and kept clean somewhere. Alternatively, you can use the Google Drive to back up your data. But the problem with the Google Drive is that when the hacker also has access to your Google account, then the data is also going to be affected. So the best thing is you can use a hard drive or hard disk to store or to back up your data. So that when the system is hacked, you already have your backup, you're not affected. So basically, that is how you have the security of your data on the system. The next strategy now is data accuracy and quality. So human resource information system plays a vital role in maintaining data accuracy and quality by enforcing data validation rules and providing error checking mechanisms. So regular data audits and updates help identify and correct any consistencies or inaccuracies. So accuracy of data in the system means you have to first check any error before you upload them on the system. This helps you to have accurate information when you need it. But otherwise, if you don't have the checking or error checking mechanism place, then you might have inaccurate information which is already uploaded in the system, and that's not fair. So the error checking mechanism can be second eye, okay, someone to verify. You always need to have someone to check or to verify what you have already done, so that if there is any error, it can be spotted and rectified before the final information goes into the system. The next one now is the data accessibility. The data has to be accessible by the employees and also by the top management. For example, if you want to offer training to employees, you need to visit the system and then access specifically the record concerning employees' performance, because in that performance you will easily decide which area needs training or which area does not need training. So that accessibility is very important. So HRIS enables authorized HR personnel to access HR data quickly and easily. For example, if you want to renew one of your employees' contracts, it is very easy to access it. You just type his name or her name, then all the information comes, whether it is the contract, whether it is the employment history, whether it is the training record or performance record. So you just look for what you want. If it is a contract, you open it, then you see when is it expiring, what are the terms and conditions, if it is supposed to be updated, how to do it. So the information becomes very easy for you to find it. And even the employee themselves, it's also very easy for them to access their information. The next one is now the role-based access control ensures that employees only have access to data relevant to their job responsibility. This is very important to ensure that the employee does not have access to the record of the other. That one will mean that the confidential information or highly sensitive information can easily be accessed by all the employees. So we need to make sure that everyone has access to only his or her own account or his or her own information to avoid leaking confidential information of other employees in the organization. Enhanced data accessibility improves HR efficiency, employee self-service, and enables informed decision making. So decision making concerning promotion depends on the HR information or the data you want to get. The decision to train employees also depend on the information, and the decision to either renew the contract or not to renew the contract also depends on the data which you are going to be accessing the system. So therefore, you need to make sure that the data is actually accessible. But if the data is not accessible, then it becomes very difficult for the management to get information they want in order to decide. So basically, these are some of the ideas you need to be familiar with under data accessibility. Now, let us look at the data quality and integrity management. Data quality refers to the accuracy, consistency, completeness, and reliability of data. It ensures that data is fit for its intended purpose and can be trusted for decision making. So what is the quality of data? In this definition, the quality of data can be measured in terms of its accuracy. Okay, it can be measured in terms of its consistency. If the data is consistent, for example, the name I'm using on my academic document is the same name I'm using on my national ID. It is the same name I'm using on other recruitment documents. That's what we call consistency, and the data is actually quality. But if my name in the academic document is different, then you go to my national ID, another different name. Then you go to the recruitment document, also another name. So there is no consistency there. And what does it indicate to you as someone who is managing the recruitment? It means there is a problem somewhere in terms of forging documents. Okay, the person might have forged the document, either the academic document or even the recruitment document. So that data is no longer quality, and the chances of considering it becomes very slim. So that's the definition of data quality. Now let us look at the importance of data quality. Why is it important to have data which is of high quality? High quality data leads to a better decision making and improved business outcomes. If the data is all about on your performance has not been well, that's the negative part of it. The performance is not good. So the management wants to train you. You just go to that data and see the areas where you are not being well, then design a training program for you. Okay, by doing that, your performance is going to improve. At the end of the day, the organization is the one actually benefiting because the performance of an organization depends on the performance of its employees. So that is if your performance has not been well. But if your performance has been good, you have been performing well, then chances are high that the organization can promote you based on your performance. So the quality of that data becomes very important to make such a decision of promoting you. The next importance of having data quality is it enhances operational efficiency and the effectiveness. So operational efficiency, like if you work in a production sector, what is operational efficiency there? Your performance or your skills on managing the raw materials. It helps a lot in determining whether you're going to produce more output in a day. So your competencies, your skills in managing the input is very important. That's how it helps operation of the business in a very effective way. Because people who are not good in managing the raw materials, of course, the end product is always poor quality because of poor input. The next important is that data quality is crucial for regulatory compliance and the risk management. You cannot comply with any regulation or you cannot manage any risk if the data you're having is faulty. You don't have accurate data. It becomes very difficult for you to manage risk. You will never manage any risk if the data you are getting is not authentic. So basically, these are some of the importance of data quality management as far as the human resource information management system is concerned. Now, let us look at the common data quality issues. What are the issues in data quality? One is the inaccurate data entry and the human errors. The human errors can happen in terms of spelling. Okay, my name tattoo, you fail to spell it correctly. It's the ATU, but for you, you end up typing the other tattoo you know. Okay, so the person who's going to search for my name will face a lot of challenge. In fact, my information will not be available in the system because of the wrong spelling. So such errors or such error is what we call the human error. Then the inaccurate data. How is the data inaccurate? Okay, for example, giving incomplete name can be inaccurate data. Okay, you just write there Patrick. Patrick who? I have three names. So if you write Patrick, because in an organization maybe there is another Patrick, so it becomes a challenge. And that is an issue when we talk about quality of your data. Just make sure that the data you're entering is accurate, then try to minimize. If you can't avoid, try to minimize the errors. And how to minimize the errors? You can have that mechanism of having always the second eye. The second eye helps to detect the errors which the first eye maybe has not seen. The next common data quality issue is duplicate or redundant data. That's when you have a file, duplicate file. Okay. If you have my folder, employee folder, let me say the name of the employee is called Peter. Then you have another folder also Peter, the same information. So that is issue number two. So you are duplicating data when you already have that data, but you still having it. So the challenge here is that it is occupying space, and if you want to update, you may end up updating one, then the other one is not updated. So next time someone who is going to look for the updated data will get confused because of the duplicate name or file name. Then inconsistent data formats or coding. The data format can be in terms of it's about the, the font style. Let us assume that you are documenting it down, you are writing it down. The font style, if you are using Times New Roman, it's consistent to that. Don't change to another format. The moment you change to another format, some system will reject it. If the system is used to one format, please make sure that you stick to that. Don't change from one format or to other, because the system might end up rejecting your your data. Then missing or incomplete data. It is another common issue in data quality. Where you have any missing information, then the data is no longer quality. Because if we are talking about the human resource in an organization, and then you have that missing data of the title, okay? The title of the employee in the organization is very important. The job or the position is very important. If you're working as the finance officer, that title or that position should be there. The moment the position is not there, then that is not longer quality. Okay, you have someone called Peter. Peter as Peter who? What is his position or what is his title in the organization? Anyone doesn't know. So that is how the data does not quality. So for it to be quality, make sure that there is not any missing information about that employee. The next thing now is the data quality management process, what we are going to look at. The process number one is the data profiling. Under data profiling, we are assessing the quality of the data by analyzing its patterns and the relationship. Okay. For example, do we need to include in your data? Do we need to include your relationship, your personal relationship, your girlfriend, with your wife, with your family outside the work context? That's the relationship we're talking about. So it's not important to include your personal lifestyle in our data is you don't want to do that. So the moment you include that, that means that relationship is relevant. We are talking about recruitment, we are talking about organization, but we are talking about someone that players in the data. That one becomes relevant. Then identifying data inconsistency is another thing you need to do. I'll give an example of the inconsistencies in name. So you need to identify and then try to see where the problem is, then rectify it so that the data becomes quality. But if you leave it like that, people with different names, one person with different names on different documents, then there's no quality in your data. So make sure that that flow, that uniformity or standardization is there in your data. That is under data profiling, step number one. Then step number two is the data cleansing. Correcting or removing errors is under what you call data cleansing. For example, if the employee is using different names, you can now find out why he or she is using that name. Maybe it is an error or typing error. Then it can be corrected, but make sure that it is verified. Which kind of document requires correction? Because if you talk about academic document, we can't correct. We can correct it, but it involves a lot of legal procedures. Okay, it involves court issues, the lawyers, you go to the university where you graduated from, then such correction can be made. Otherwise, the process is not easy. The organization does not have that legal authority or power to correct that. But the correction can be made on your ID card because that one is under the reach or under the power of the organization. The organization can easily correct your ID, but not your academic document. Then applying validation rules and business rules to ensure data accuracy. So the validation rule could mean verifying the data. Okay, once you've received the data on your table, you have to make sure that you verify it so that you don't take any irrelevant data. So that is the under is step number two, which is about data cleansing. Then data standardization is the step number three. So you need to establish and enforcing consistent data formats, codes, and definitions. For example, if your registration number of the employees or the ID number is let me take example of this university, RIU 001. Okay, that's an employee name, ID number rather. Then the next employee should also be RIU 002. What could change only is the number, but the format of having RIU, which represents the research university, which represents universities, will not change. You do this the same to all the employees in the organization. If you have more than 100 employees, make sure that RIU is bonus. Okay. Then implementing data governance practice to maintain standards. The data governance should also, in terms of process of checking the data or verifying the data, that is the data governance practice. Okay, invite someone always to check, to cross check the data to make sure that the data is accurate before it is fed in the system. So step number four, now it is the monitoring or data monitoring. So we need to regularly audit and review to identify and resolve data issues promptly. Issues to do with the name, issues to do with the age, issues to do with the position, etc. You need to identify them and resolve it promptly. Don't delay. You can also update your data is still under monitoring. The data you need to update. For example, if someone has been promoted to the next position, you need to update that. If you leave it like that, it is not quality. There's nothing to do with the quality. Is now irrelevant because the person is no longer working where he used to. He's now in another level. So that data also has to be updated. And how do you update that? Just through monitoring what is happening in the organization. Now let us look at data integrity definition. What is data integrity? We have been looking at data quality. Now what is data integrity? Data integrity refers to the accuracy, consistency, and the reliability of data throughout its life cycle. It ensures that data remains intact, complete, and unaltered. That is almost like data quality. So data integrity almost is like data quality. Having data which is complete, having data which is consistent is what we mean data integrity. So why is it important to have data integrity? One is that data integrity prevents unauthorized access, tampering, or corruption of data. And unauthorized access means no one should be given access to any data or any information if he or she is not the right person to access it. Like I told you from the beginning that everyone has the confidential information. So such information should not be accessed to people anyhow. But however, there are some people who are supposed to have access to such information, but not all employees. So such employees, if they come, those who have right to access the information can get access to them, but you need to make sure that you limit the access. Then it safeguards data against accidental or malicious modification. This is when someone comes in and try to modify data, or the employees comes in and try to modify the data in terms of the job description or in terms of salary. Okay, if someone's supposed to take maybe $1,000, modify it to 2,000 or 1,500. That is malicious. So sometimes the virus, if the system has also virus, it can also do some kind of things. But mostly the hackers are the one who hack in and then start modifying the data. Then ensuring that integrity is vital for maintaining trust and credibility. So if you have data which well protected, that is the integrity, then the credibility of that organization, the credibility of that department is actually high. But the moment the data is not well protected, it loses integrity, then the department which is in charge of the data, which is I think the human resource department, will lose its credibility. Okay, the human resource will not be looked at as credible department because the data it has no value, or it has been tampered with. So basically, these are some of the importance of data integrity as far as the human resource management is concerned. Now let us look at common data integrity risks. What are the risks involved in data integrity? One is the unauthorized data access or breaches. This is when people access data when they are not supposed to access them, unauthorized. Okay. Then data corruption due to hardware or software failures. This could be when you are using outdated software or hardware, or even your computer has a virus that will also affect the integrity of the data. Then that's another risk. And also we have inadequate backup and recovery procedures. Having data only is stored in one source or in one folder is not enough. You need to have a backup. I told you from the beginning that you can either backup your data in Google Drive. This is still dangerous if the hacker has access to your Google account. Everything will be tampered with you. So the best thing is you can have it in your Google Drive. I mean, in your hard drive or hard disk. You can use the memory card or flash disk, etc., to back up your data. Even other people can have the hard copy of it. Print your hard copy and then keep it safe somewhere. Then we have lack of data validation and error handling mechanism is another risk. If you don't have that mechanism to handle errors, don't have that mechanism to validate data, then you are most likely to have risk in managing data integrity. For example, someone comes in with the fake document, and for you, you store that data, you kept it. Means you have kept uh, forged document. Is it good to keep things which is forged, fake things? It's not good to keep fake things. So it means that the integrity, of course, of the organization is lost. You cannot be having fake document in your database. So these are some of the common data integrity risks we can experience in the organization. Now let us look at the data integrity management strategies. How do you manage the integrity of the data? One is access controls. You need to limit access. Not everyone in the organization should have access to some of the data. You need to assign some individuals to take control of the data. So in case of any loss, in case of anything, they will be accountable. Then you need to have a backup and a recovery, which I've already explained. You don't need to store your data only on one device. You need to have multiple devices for storing your data, because if you lose it in device A, then in device B, you will be able to recover them or find them there, and then you are not going to be affected. Then lastly, error detection and correction. You need to have a mechanism for detecting errors, and then also try to correct those errors if it is in terms of the age, in terms of the name, in terms of the figure, etc. So those errors can always be corrected. These are some of the strategies you can use to make sure that there is integrity in your data management practices in the organization. Basically, these are what I had prepared for you. Thank you so much for watching.